off the news. ARKI, and then it's double E. Welcome again to this special edition of Gospel Life News. This is where we bring you guys updates concerning music, and that is done across the country, and obviously the guys that makes the beats. I want to say a big thank you to our fans out there for doing what you guys do. We love you so much. We appreciate you. You guys are the reason why we are doing all of this, and it's really nice doing it with you. Want to say big thank you, thank you, thank you. You didn't have to do it, but you did it. So for all of that, we are just out here to say thank you for everything you've done, the love you've shown us, and the support you have shown us in the past couple of days, weeks, months, and years. The news, like I always say, is buzzing. We have amazing content on the news. As a matter of fact, Idris Abdul Karim began the conversation, and everybody has jumped on it. The likes of Sean Kuti has jumped on it. P Square, one of the guys who jumped on it. We'll see the likes of OGs in the game coming out to jump on it. Recently, we saw J1, one of the OGs we have in the game. At the time, it was one of the buzzing stars. Signed up with Kenny's Music alongside obviously Idris Abdul Karim, the Two Face, and it was a big family. I think at the time, Kenny's was one of the biggest group we had in the country, if not in Africa, controlled by Keke and D. Controlled by Keke and D1, all from Ogun State, and they were obviously the biggest thingy that happened at the time in industry. We saw where J1 has come out to give us insight on what he think about Idris, how Idris is a bully, how Idris almost violated him at the point. But at the same time, it was also quick to mention the fact that Idris is an OG and he also contributed to the growth of Afrobeat. We have Davido. Davido is out to advise Kanye West for his franchise stores with Adidas. Kanye West came out some days ago to drag Adidas for selling his fake Yeezy. And then he actually had a picture where he's saying that Yeezy sold Adidas is fake. People were buying that Yeezy for a huge amount of money. And then he's saying that franchise is fake. And we saw people like Snoop Dogg came on the comments to obviously applaud him. And Davido was also one person who came out. His comment was pinned up from Ye himself. And we saw Davido saying, "Come to Puma. Trust me, that's the biggest influence." Now, you have to have a level of status for you to have your comment pinned on one of the biggest artists in the world. Trust me, name your top three. Kanye West is there, and for you to have someone like Kanye West pin your comments, you are blown. You are massively blown. At the same time, we have amazing guys, like I said, Burna Boy is on the news, Davido is on the news. We have Fireboy on the news with media development. He has come out to grant an interview speaking on who we would love to collaborate with and who is working on stuff. For some reason, we heard the Burna Boy conversation. Just maybe there could be one from Fireboy and Burna Boy coming through in coming days. Finally, we have Bela Shmurda coming out to show, obviously, give flowers to Mobad, and I'm dedicating a project to him. All of these, you'll see them in the news. Let's begin the news proper with Burna Boy. We saw J1 talking. I think on the street they call him J1 Law. J1, amazing guy, one of the greatest talent we have in the industry. At the time, he was buzzing, but had to speak, obviously, not more buzzing again. But I saw him coming out, speaking. He was speaking on a podcast where he said, for Burna Boy to have said nobody paved way for him, he said that statement is madness. Now he was speaking with Teddy Babyface. He said that statement is madness. It is untrue. It is not true because J1 believes that everybody at some point paved way for whoever you are. Now, whatever frame or sector you are, whether agriculture, whether music, whether acting, whether craft, whether painting, somebody paved way for you. If it's maybe paint and art, you can be sure that the likes of Da Vinci was one of those guys who opened up the way for you, whether directly or indirectly. He also pointed out the fact that at the point, Davido gave Burna Boy the 30 BG chain, and if that thing means nothing, obviously it paved a sort of doors for Burna Boy, and he feels that that one alone would have paved way for Burna Boy. He also mentioned the fact that it is as though as Sheyi Vibes coming out to say nobody paved way for him, even after Burna Boy gifted him the 7G chain. So basically, it is a recurring circle because everybody is paving way. So in J1 analysis, Davido paved the way for Burna Boy, and Burna Boy is also paving the way for Sheyi Vibes. He ended by saying, Burna Boy, as at today, has paved the way for all Afrobeat artists because now everybody is doing stadiums, everybody is doing arena, courtesy Burna Boy. So basically, it is wrong to say nobody paved way for you. He also came out to analyze that Idris cannot call out Burna Boy. In his words, he said it is wrong for Idris to call out Burna Boy because whatever Burna Boy is doing today, Idris taught him. He said, Burna Boy proud? Is he arrogant? Yes, because Idris did all of that while he was buzzing. He said, Idris is a cool guy, great guy. If he has money, he gives money out to everybody. Idris is not a selfish person. However, Idris is temperamental, is a bully. He said at the point they went to perform at the show in one of the hood he grew up in, talking about J1. And then he said the organizers told him that because he grew up there, people knew him there, he was going to perform last. And then he said it became a tussle because after he performed, Idris never agreed for him to perform last because Idris wanted to close the show. And then he said after I performed before Idris, all the fans left the venue. It looked as though the show has ended. Now that got Idris so angry. Idris, they went back to the bus, going back home along First Start Road. We saw where he said Idris and his boys, two boys, were seen beating him up mercilessly. He also mentioned the fact that they were beating him on the floor. And then he said he's a very stubborn person. So if you want to come for it, you must be prepared. And then he said the moment he stood up, he went straight to the driver, assaulted the driver, then turned the steering 360. He wanted everybody in the car to die that day. And then he said just after he did that, Idris fled because Idris have never seen anything like that before in his life. Everyone was scared of him. And for Idris, this is not the first time we're hearing this. The likes of a lot of actors come out to say Idris was a bully. The likes of Soso Brecon, he came out to also mention the fact that every artist in the game were all scared of bully. Whoever you are, Terry G, The Band, P Square, Two Face, everybody was scared of Idris. He said Idris had bouncers who were working with bats, with baseball bats, and then if they catch you anywhere, your head could go for it. So he said everybody was scared of Idris Abu Karim, and J1 said he was bold to stand up to him. And after that incident, Idris fled with his voice. And it is wrong to say Idris is calling out Burna Boy because what Burna Boy is doing today, he learned it from Idris. Moving on, we saw Fireboy coming out to give credence. He spoke about Afrobeats basically, and then he said a lot of persons are doing Afrobeat differently. Ruga is doing Afrobeat with the dance hall. Rema is doing Afrobeat with the vocals. Burna Boy is doing Afrofusion with Afrobeat. So he's saying everybody in the game is doing Afrobeat, and because of our adaptability culture, we can adapt to any system when it comes to it. Moving on, we saw just at Burna Boy event yesterday. We saw where before he came on stage, we saw where they were playing Nicki Minaj "Moment for Life" at the show in Toronto. Now, this is coming after it was heavily speculated, and we saw snippets of Burna Boy and obviously Nicki Minaj snippets coming through very very soon, and we're happy to see that that one is coming through. This snippet might just give a lot of volume to the fact that there might be a sense of truth to that. Away from Burna Boy, we go straight to Davido. We saw Davido Timeless have just surpassed 370 million streams on Spotify on his chase to catch up with Timeless and with I Told Them album, but obviously 370 million is really not getting a small number, and we are so happy that he is doing or is getting the flowers he deserves on Spotify. At the same time, Unavailable have just surpassed 130 million streams on Spotify, another massive one. This record has proven that he is yet to stay. His numbers are growing almost every day, and then we are happy that obviously David is getting all the attention he needs and deserves at the time. Moving on, we saw where Kanye West came out to call out Adidas, and then he said, "We all know that while he was at the time before the back and forth he had with the government, with his label, Kanye West lost all rights he had. He lost all the label brands he was working with. Everybody obviously took out what they were. You know, Kanye is that person. He's so rich, he's so blessed, and he really doesn't care about a lot of stuff. He says what he wants to say, however he wants to say it. And then there was one he said, and everybody was like, we can't work with this guy and all of that. They left him. And then he had a growing franchise then called Yeezy with Adidas. It was everywhere. People were buying it. It was quite expensive, but everybody was buying it. It was a symbol of a big boy. If you're wearing that, it shows that you have a level of finances working with you. And then we saw where after he lost the deal with Adidas, Adidas kept on selling Yeezy. Then he came to call them out saying whatever they're selling is fake because that was not what he originally designed. And he was ranting. People came online to support him. Snoop Dogg was there to support him. Davido came into the comment here to say, "Come to Puma, yay!" So obviously, if Adidas is stressing you with all your shenanigans at Puma, we would accept you. And we're waiting to see if this one actually would get feedback from Ye towards Puma. We saw Davido back in the studio working out. Obviously, he has given us hints that this year is a promising year for his album, and he's working in the studio. This time, I'm waiting to see what Davido is having up his sleeve. Are we getting an album, an EP, or all of these are just shenanigans as an artist who love to be in the studio? Moving on, we have Fireboy as the next guy on the news. So it has been rumored that Fireboy apparently could just be on Justin Timberlake's album, the one he called Everything I Thought. We've seen on the side B part, we saw where there was a song called Liar, where he featured Fireboy. Like I said, it has been rumored, so we can't wait to see what it looked like for Justin Timberlake's track list for this release. Moving on, we saw last year was a roller coaster year where people believed Fireboy had a slow year, but amidst all of that, we saw one of the songs he dropped last year called Yawa. Yawa have just surpassed 30 million streams on Spotify. That's a good one, massive one from Fireboy. And amidst his bad years, he is still doing good numbers with the songs. On an interview granted, we saw Fireboy coming out to speak where he said, so the interview goes to us. Fireboy has become a leader in the Nigerian pop scene in the last few years. At one point, he even coined a term to only describe his unique styles, Afro-like. He's flipped on the jazz, funk, highlife, and West African musical styles that Afrobeat is known for. I was really focused on making music. This is Fireboy talking, but I needed to find an identity for my sound, the singer says, of his career beginning. Before I knew from time, because I knew from time that my sound was different, I knew I was bringing something new to the table. The Afrobeat scene before I came in has always been beautiful. It was built on vibes and energy and percussions and instruments and everything. But I realized that there was something lacking, and that was pure soul and lyricism in our music. That was what I brought into the game, and I figured if you are bringing something new to the table, it needs a name. That's why I called it Afro Life. It is Afrobeats that add some depth to it. Afrobeats will always be at the core of Fireboy music that he makes clear as he teases his next album, which is currently finishing. I'm planning to tour in December. The singer released a two-pack of feel-good singles outside and Obasima. Though he says they're not part of his new LP rollout, it was on a whim. He says, dropping the new track. If I'm being completely honest, I was in a different headspace at the time. It was a time when most of my peers were really outside performing at attending parties and going to club. December is always a time for us Nigerians to celebrate, especially us who live in Lagos. We love to go out and have fun and party all month. The environment and atmosphere was just brimming with celebration and happiness, and it made me want to release music that evoked the same feeling. While unleashing his new music, Fireboy's next anticipated feature, his attention is also on what is ahead of his generous future. He's already plotting to work with big names like Burna Boy, Post Malone, Travis Scott, and Don Toliver to take it to the next level. However, he has even bigger dreams for his homeland. I am looking forward to what this year and future years beyond old African music he sees. Really exciting times. It is almost like every passing month and day, Afrobeat and African music seem to be attaining new heights. I'm excited about what the future holds. We've had a few interesting breakout stars over the past few years in the Nigerian music scene. So I'm excited for who is next coming from Fireboy. At the same time, we saw where he spoke about the album where he said he will feature some amazing and unlikely collaboration. It is a culmination of what I have learned in the past couple of years. I mean, the past year mostly because 2023 was a year of learning for me. There are a few songs on the album that really talk about focusing on the things that matters: family, personal health, peace of mind, relationship with God, sharing love with people that really matters to you. The album is almost like a perfect balance of the three that makes a perfect balance of the three that I've released so far. And that's what makes me really excited to share it with the world coming from Fireboy. We saw where he came out also to explain that at the point now he was speaking on the billboard, he also came out to say at the point he rejected a couple of deals from big artists that wanted to sign him until Olamide came. He said when Olamide came, he knew at the time that the time was now, this was what he was going to sign at the time. And no wonder there was no hesitations while he was signing that contract. Moving on, we have Bela Shmurda as the next guy on the news. We saw Bela Shmurda coming out to introduce Sade at the sold out concert. Now, for this guy, we love the fact that there are rumors everywhere. Rumors have it that he just signed Sade to the Gangana music team. I think that's the label team. Rumors have it that he just signed today to that label, and but like I said, there's rumors. We don't have concrete evidence yet. However, we know that if Flew should get to the UK to come having performed on the tour. At the same time, we saw Bela Shmurda announces two new projects, the EP and album, and they called the EP Road to September 12th, and the album is dropping on September 12th, and he's dedicating both the EP and the album to his friend Mobat. We all know that September 12th was a day not to forget in the Afrobeat space because that was the date it was announced that we lost Mobat. May his soul rest in peace. Amen. Moving on, we saw Bela Shmurda coming out to speak about what he wants his son to think about him. He said, um, having given birth to his child has changed his life, changed the way he thinks, and all of that. And ever since the boy came to the picture, he has had a different thought about life. As he would always want his son to 10 years from now open up the TV and see his father and say, "Yes, that's my daddy." And he doesn't want a scene where people are now the one telling the boy saying, "Your father used to be a singer." He said, "No, he wants to keep doing this piece so that 10 years from now, his son can see him on TV and say, yes, that's my daddy," from Bela Shmurda. Finally, we saw Buju Bensi coming out to give us what the song Get the Ruga looks like, and a kind of cool vibe and cool feel good vibe, trust me. Cool one. We can't wait to see what the full one looks like. But then this is Bella and Buju Bensi, we who cannot wait to share the song with us. The song looks cool, looks vibe, looks like what Ruga will eat and obviously deliver on the job. But like I said, we are just crossing fingers to see what the next couple of days will look like when they finally release this one. My name is Dati. We'll catch you guys on the very next one.